Hello everyone, welcome to Phase Dota Circuit Season 8. Jason Voss Foundation picks for the Cure versus our Pause 1 is Legend. Best of 2 regular season matchup. This is Granola's team versus Bear's team. And I'm pretty familiar with most of the players in this game, so I should be able to break down what these bans and picks are targeting. Starting off the bans, we have Nyax and TA getting banned by Radiant. Those are both Granola heroes who plays the position 1 on our Pause 1 is Legend. And on the upside side, Dire banning out Wraith King and Medusa. Both position 3s, and the position 3 on Jason Voss, who is Domo Flip, is one of their better players who likes to play the Medusa. They also like to play Wraith King 1 on Bear. Those two heroes are also pretty meta right now, pretty high win rate, so getting those heroes out of the pool just makes the game a little less annoying to play. Continuing the bans, we see Tiny get banned, which is likely another Granola hero. So 3 Pause 1s getting banned out of the pool immediately. Capping that off with the Ancient Apparition, who's the best support in this patch right now. And last ban is the Earthshaker. Surprised to see the Clockwork make it through. That is probably the most signature hero of Crash, who's the Pause 5 on Radiant. But it seems like it was all part of the plan because our Pause 1 is Legend picks it up first pick, denying that pick on the enemy team. Jason Voss Foundation picks up Jakiro. It's kind of a standard support picked very often in the pro scene, a lot of pubs. And Jakiro is very annoying for the Clockwork to deal with because Jakiro can just double hit the cogs to get out of him. Jakiro can just Ice Path and Macropyre the Clockwork wherever he goes if Clock's trying to do something in his cogs. So it's very hard as a Clockwork to initiate when there's a Jakiro in the game because he forces you out of your cogs. Continuing the bans, we see Sand King getting banned. That is, looking at my draft sheet, I think that's like a, imagine that's like a 2. They're thinking that's going to be played 2. I don't see Sand King getting picked that often by Jason Voss. I probably should have made sure that they can't hear me. Sometimes the people in the game can hear me for whatever reason. Anyway, we have Death Prophet banned, Sand King banned, so 2 mids, and Quap gets banned from Jason Voss. Quap gets played by Emu a lot, who's the position 2 on our Pause 1 is Legend. And Emu is very good at that hero. So not surprised to see it get banned out this phase because it's pretty easy to pick Queen of Pain in the second pick phase. She's not really countered that hard by specific heroes. You need like a team to counter her.
I'm having a great time playing Dota with my friends.
As we have lots of voice lines going off in the chat. Dark Willow gets picked up by Jason Voss. This is going to be Jimmy Pesto, position 4 hero. Dark Willow Jakiro combined offer a lot of magic damage. And Jakiro prefers to have sort of a setup stun for him to Ice Path combo with. Dark Willow is not great at setup. She also prefers to have some kind of setup, so these two supports, they definitely like just deny an area and put a lot of damage and control on a specific area, but by themselves, they're going to have a difficult time like instant stunning a hero and starting off that combo. Our Pause 1 is Legend going to pick up the Juggernaut first thing. Likely going to be position 1 Juggernaut. Juggernaut is very good versus these two supports. None of their damage gets through BKB except Jakiro Ags. Surprised to see it pick this early because you can absolutely pick heroes that like don't care about Omni Slash. And like core wise, you could pick heroes like a Phantom Assassin or like an Anti-Mage, like something with a blink. or PA's her E, whatever it's called, to basically go like pseudo invisible, like a Slark could be picked up, just kind of nullify the whole Omni Slash of Juggernaut. Shadow Shaman gets picked next. I'm a little worried about damage right now on our Pause Legend. Their two supports have great crowd control. Shadow Shaman likes to go Blink Dagger. You go Blink Dagger. Shadow Shaman plus Clockwork, you have tons of ways to initiate fights. You can also like counter initiate. If they go on you, you can blink in or hook shot in and just stop that initiation. Jakiro with Dark Willow are pretty backline. Dark Willow sometimes goes Blink Dagger to jump into heroes and try and pop them. She's not the greatest versus Clockwork Juggernaut. But Rasta doesn't particularly like getting jumped. So I would like to see more damage come out on the side of our Pause Legend. I feel like their crowd control is very good right now. They have pretty good push between the Juggernaut Healing Ward and Rasta wards. And on Jason Voss, I'd like to see cores that basically try and punish this Juggernaut as quickly as hard as possible. Dawnbreaker sort of works. It's a very tanky hero. She does a pretty good job against him in lane, and if she ever gets ulted, she can, if she has it up, Solar Guardian away to some other part of the map. If they try to initiate on a hero with Clockwork Juggernaut, Dawnbreaker can come in with Solar Guardian and try and save that hero, also provide an extra body to tank with the Omni Slash if the Dawnbreaker's fast enough. And Dawn is a setup stun. Not the greatest. She can hammer in. And Starfall, I think it's called, or whatever her Q is called, the Celestial Hammer. She can set stuns up that way for the Ice Path and Dark Willow follow-up. PA, that's a very easy position one to pick. Versus Juggernaut, she can either blink out of Omni or cast Blur, and the Blur will cancel Omni as well. And Juggernaut is forced to go MKB, which Juggernauts don't particularly like going MKB. They prefer to go more like tank mobility items plus like a Mjolnir. And MKB just kind of throws a wrench in that itemization plan. So I feel like Jason Voss did a decent job of picking cores to try and counter this Juggernaut. And they have one more pick to really seal the deal. Our Pause Legend picks up the Axe. That's going to be their 3. And Axe Rasta is a pretty annoying lane to deal with. Rasta does a ton of damage, and Axe can just sit in front of him and be the focus of attention, while the Rasta does a lot of damage, a lot of disable. That's going to be... If this is a Jakiro 5, Jakiro does not play well into the Axe because of the double attack. It procs Axe E twice. And if the Axe gets like a Vanguard or like 2 bracers, you generally have enough sustain to deal with Jakiro dual breath spamming you. And Axe as well does really good against Phantom Assassin, so I do like this Axe pick. It's another hero that doesn't have great damage though. And so our Puzzle is Legend, I feel like they're a little more item dependent than Jason Voss. Jason Voss can kind of just like dump spells in an area and kill heroes that way, but our Puzzle is Legend, like I feel like this Axe needs to have a really good lane for them to be able to kill heroes. Because Rasta doesn't do that much damage unless you max the Q. And Clockwork as well doesn't really do that much damage. And Jug's not really going to participate in fights for a while unless he gets a few specific items. Last bands coming out, both sides appear to be looking at getting a mid, just judging off these bans. Jason Voss banning the Odie. That'd be a pretty annoying hero to deal with. I'm not sure if that's like the best mid though, because Odie really doesn't have a way to deal with Phantom Assassin other than just popping with Sanity's Eclipse. You can go Bloodthorn or MKB. MKB is pretty awful. Invoker gets banned from our pause when it's Legend. That's a pretty common hero for Blocka, who's the mid on Jason Voss. And Invoker would definitely add some setup, disable, and damage, so I feel like that's a really good ban by our Plasma's Legend. Ember Spirit gets banned out. I feel like Ember is not really the hero that really fits together our pause when his Legends draft. Ember can do damage early game. He's kind of reliant on having a good lane though, and he usually wants some items like a Mage Slayer, etc., or Desolator before he starts going into fights. So I'm thinking on our pause on his Legend, they want to pick up some kind of heavy damage mid. The perfect hero would have been Quap, but that's banned. And last hero to get banned is Leshrac. Leshrac, yeah, is pretty annoying to deal with. They don't have a great way to handle him. And the Leshrac does counter the Axe, so not surprised to see that banned. Our Puzzle Legend doesn't have a lot of time to pick a hero here. I could maybe see like a Puck. They're going to go with Keeper of the Light. So not a ton of mobility on our Puzzle Legend. It's basically just hookshot in terms of abilities that move you around. Kado's obviously very fast, and he can recall heroes around. But in a team fight, our Puzzle Legend is going to be walking around a lot. Caudle definitely adds some early game oomph. This is likely going to be a mid Keeper of the Light. And Caudle does do well when you have long disables on your team. Clockwork, Cogs, Rasta, Shackles, X, Call are all pretty long, so you can combo those abilities with the Illuminate and do lots of damage, lots of early game damage. I have a feeling our Plasma's Legend is trying to win their lanes and kind of snowball from there, try and prevent Jason Voss from farming this PA up. Jason Voss probably wants a mobile hero that can get on top of the Caudle. They pick the opposite of that. They go with the Pudge. If this is a mid Pudge, which, yeah, Blocka has played this hero recently. I'm not sure how that matchup works. I imagine the Caudle has to just be very careful of the hooks. And Pudge probably wins the CS war. Caudle's probably just going to max out Illuminate and push out the wave, though, over and over. It's going to be interesting to see. In terms of lanes, I think that our pause when his Legends off lane is better. Mid, I'd probably give to the Pudge. But I feel like the mid is just going to be Caudle just grinding up levels, get Illuminate, spam out the wave, and just not even lane against the Pudge. But I feel like if the Caudle tries to lane, the Pudge does win that. And in the bottom lane, Juggernaut Clockwork. Or Rasta versus, it's probably the Clockwork. Juggernaut Clockwork versus Dawnbreaker Dark Willow. Juggernaut Q kind of avoids the majority of their damage. I feel like Clockwork's not going to have a fun time in that lane. Clock and Jug can do quite a bit of damage together, but it's going to be hard to try and pin down this Dark Willow and Dawnbreaker. Anyway, in terms of cosmetics, I feel like Radiant have the win there. A lot of gold, a lot of nice particle effects going on that top half. Pudge Skin is a classic. Not one of the fancier ones, but definitely very nice. Our Plasma's Legends, a little mishmash of cosmetics there. And does my hotkey work start at the game? No, okay. There we go. All right, let's do introductions. Radiant, actually, 1 second. I need to enable camera zoom. There we go. Starting off on Jan Vass, I'm not going to say the rest of the team name. It's going to be Block on the Pudge, Domo Flip on the Dawnbreaker, Jerbear on the Phantom Assassin, Crash on the Jakiro, and Jimmy Pesto on the Dark Willow. Both teams have smoked up, walking towards each other. Probably going to have a fight here very soon. I will do Dyer's introductions in a second here. PA Pudge may be out of position as the Clockwork's going to run in, try and find a good cog target, isolates the PA. But Clock now getting the one being focused. He's getting very low. Dawnbreaker is going to get that first blood. Trying to run out of there. PA is going to be the next to fall. Went dagger, so no blink away. Nice double dual breath there on Crash, getting 3 heroes, slowing them down. Rasta is a very slow hero, trying to run away. Shackles up. That's going to keep him alive for just a second longer. And, oh, a nice Bramble by the Dark Willow on the back is going to secure that Rasta, followed up by the Axe. Goes down. Pudge getting very low. Juggernaut really wants to get this kill, but no. Triple kill now for the Pudge. That's disaster. The Illuminate, not enough to get that kill. Coddle probably wants to die here, but probably wants to get the bounty rune first. Try and waste as much time as possible. Ooh, the Bramble. Just off target. He does not go for the bounty. Worried about that meat hook, I imagine. He's going to go for that top rune on Emu. So at the end of it, a 2 for 4. Pudge getting a nice chunk of gold, 640 gold. Right at the start of the game. We have a hook shot on the Coddle. He's going to have 4 kills at the very start of the game. This Pudge is hovering 1,200 gold before the first minute. Yikes, not what you want to see on the side of Dyer. Speaking of Dyer, as I try to get the muscle memory back to keep an eye on where everybody is. Drabs is going to be playing the Axe, supported by Seal on the Clockwork. Mid is going to be Emu on the Keeper of the Light. And top, we have Granola playing Juggernaut, supported by Ethertrunks on the Shadow Shaman. Yep, top lane, it did end up being the Dawnbreaker Dark Willow. Rasta actually came up instead of the Clockwork to support this Juggernaut, so you have that range support with the Juggernaut. Probably makes it a little bit easier lane for them to get kills in the bottom lane. Jakira and PA versus the Clock Axe. I feel like this is a pretty difficult lane for Dyer, actually. PA can basically kite the majority of the damage from these two melee heroes on Dyer. And they do have a lot of poke. Dyer doesn't really have a lot of poke there. We have Dark Willow blocking the camp behind the mids to prevent Coddle from getting those easy stacks. That's quite an interesting high-level play there. I'm curious to see how often the Coddle goes back there, if at all, to do that stack. See if the sentry's worth. Could be a bit of damage on the Rasta. Don is going to hammer in. They're getting this Rasta very low. He has the chicken available. And yeah, the shackle comes out, but the right click from Shadowrun will immediately cancel it. And that's going to be a dead Rasta. Meanwhile, bottom lane, looks like Jakiro got ran at by the Axe Clockwork. Goes down without losing too much HP on the side of Dyer. This Jakiro does have to be pretty careful not to get too close to these Dyer cores, or these two Dyer offlaners. Mid lane, we have a nice hook by Pudge onto the Keeper of the Light, getting a pretty low. Just going to be doing some right-click damage. I'm not really watching this lane, because I imagine the Pudge with that Ultra Kill is just going to have a fantastic time in this lane. But I suppose we can still watch it, because the hooks probably mean guaranteed kills. We're going to have the Lotus popping top. They're going to be fighting over it. And Dawnbreaker's get a bit shackled up by the Shadow Shaman. You're still fighting over this Lotus. Dawn has the hammer, uses it offensively, trying to get away from the Juggernaut. Now, Juggernaut's getting pretty low. Dark Willow is right behind them, also very low. I feel like this Jug could just turn around and right-click her. But Dark's just going to walk on out of there. Bottom lane, Jakiro gets jumped on again by the Clock, getting cogged up. They're fighting this under tower now. Clock's getting very low. PA has the evasion. They're dodging a couple of attacks. That's going to keep the PA alive for now. Clock also getting out very low, as Axe is the only hero with a good amount of HP in this lane. Mid lane, Pudge. Looks like Pudge got the hook or walked at the Coddle and secured that kill. So Pudge having an excellent lane. I should probably put up last hits here for you. Sorry. As Coddle is not having a fun lane mid against this force-fed Pudge. Axe is going to be running at the Phantom Assassin. He may have gone a little bit too far. Jakiro getting him very low. Has the dual brief in a second. Is gonna cast it with the dagger. Ooh, Ice Path first. No mana for the dual brief. Actually, PA blinked and immediately got counter helix, so we'll just instantly die. That's unfortunate. A little bit of a mistime there. But the Dyer's Heroes are too low to really keep participating in the lane at this time. Top lane, there's going to be a Never Go on the Shadow Shaman. The Brambles are going to keep Rasta away from his tower as Shadow Shaman's going to walk into the Bramble, get very low. Dark Willow just right-clicking him down, and he will go down. I'm pretty sure the player for Rasta is a female, so I apologize if I misgender. I usually use hero names. So when I say he is doing, I mean Rasta is doing. Axe is going to be cutting the wave, and Clock is going to be pulling, so doing very good lane control on in the bottom lane. Looks like Caudle has been trying to stack this, but the sentry has been preventing it from doing anything, so very good, nice sentry placement by that Dark Willow at the start of the game. Attempted go on the PA is going to force the PA away from lane. As this is not what you want to see your carry doing, just running away from lane with the Corrosive Orb, completely losing out this entire wave. Lotus is going to spawn again. Dawnbreaker going to pick up the top one, bottom one is still available. We have Dark Willow going back top. Pudge is staying mid. Why not? You're winning this lane so hard. Might as well. Caudle, yeah, was aware of that block and so did bring the sentry over to try and stop that. Dawnbreaker's going to go on the Juggernaut, has the spin, holding on to it for now. The stun's going to go out onto Epitronks. I'm going to call Shadow Shaman Epa. Onto Epa. But no kills top as the Jugglers were never really in any danger there. Had the Blade Fury the whole time. As the 7-minute trines are coming up, neither team going for the shrine at the minute. Looks like both sides are going to send their 4s to go get the shrines, so no contest for those. And just in terms of CS, seems like PA, Jug, and Axe are suffering the most, and Pudge, Dawnbreaker, and Caudle are having decent CS at the start of the game. Clockwork and Axe are trying to run down this Jakiro. They are battle hungered, but it's only a level 1 battle hunger, so not really slowing them that much. We're going to have double TP in rotation by Radiant. They want to turn this into some kill opportunities here as Dire keep pressing, trying to find this Jakiro. Jakiro running around the gate, trying to stay alive. Gets taunted up. They're gonna die. Ooh, the hook just misses the Clockwork as the Axe does go down there. Looks like Rasta was considering going through, but decided against it. As Dawnbreaker heads back to continue bullying this Juggernaut. So I'll pop over to net worth, take a look at that. Pudge, well and truly far ahead. And having that ultra kill, 502 Pudge at the start of the game. You started the game with 4 kills. Yeah, it's pretty hard to not lose that lane. Jug's going to be running at the Dawnbreaker. It has the Omni, but Dawn's near those creeps and is full HP, so Jug's not going to commit that just yet. We do have the Axe. Misses the call on the Dawnbreaker. She's very slow, though. Dawn just not respecting this Axe at all, just running at him and trying to get CS from his paws. As laning phase continues into 9 minutes, there's going to be go on the Clockwork, Brute followed up by the Ice Path, but the Clock is just a little bit too tanky and the PA wasn't in position to follow up, so Clock will get away. Actually, we have a roster rotation, went through the gate, they're going to go on the Phantom Assassin. That's a pick on the PA. And nice hook by the Pudge onto the Clockwork. Just going to rod and right click him down. The clock is going to die now. Drab's forced to run away from this Dawnbreaker as there are 4 Radiant heroes down here, punishing that kill on the Phantom Assassin. Pudge is getting super low here. I think just the level 4 Rot was killing himself and then he was dying to skeletons, but Pudge tried to ult there, almost died. That would have been a little embarrassing. Axe working on Blade Mill first and then going towards the Blink Dagger. Yeah, it looks like the clock was the only kill there for Radiant, so they had 4 heroes down there to kill Clockwork. Probably worth in Dire's eyes. Phantom Assassin is not having a fun time. You can see she's a full 1,000 gold below the next core, which is the enemy Axe. So even though Dawn and Pudge are having excellent games, their one position Phantom Assassin is not. So I feel like this Pudge and Dawn should be working a little bit harder to try and make space for this PA. Just like pushing down lanes or smoke ganking or something. It's done on the Coddle. It's not going to be enough to land the hook. It's just, ooh, Blink Reveal by the Pudge. Going to go on the Keeper of the Light. We'll start dismembering him, just walking him down with the Rot. Right clicks coming out. No Blinding Light by the Coddle. Interesting decision there. Unable to push the Pudge away with Blinding Light. Crash is going to drop spells onto the Clockwork, who runs into a root. Going after this Dark Willow, who's far behind enemy lines here. Hookshot, follow-up. Dark Willow is going to go down to the combined efforts of Ipa and Seal. So Pudge now has a Blink Dagger. Where's the Pudge? Pudge is bottom, killing the Axe. As I'm having a difficult time following the heroes here, I apologize. And this is what I mean. Just Pudge just has to get a Blink Dagger is a perfect item to just run around and try and get kills. Jug is going to force the Omni, or drop the Omni onto Dawnbreaker. Going to follow up with the Blade Fury. Jug getting very low though. Is going to full commit, try and bring this Dawn down. The Illuminate is going to kill the Dawn, but the Jug dies immediately after. Not sure if that's worth. Axe is now TPing in. Doesn't have the Blade Mill just yet, so he has to run at these heroes. Dark Willow drops the Terrorize, trying to run away, getting very low. I imagine Illuminate or right click. Right click will be enough to bring down that Dark Willow. So Coddle making a bit of space and securing that kill on the Dawnbreaker. Now they're going to be doing a little bit of damage with this Siege Catapult onto the top tier 1. Dawn's going to TP in though, try and stop that push from happening. Pudge picks up a Haste Rune, so we're probably going to see a initiation here pretty soon. As he's going to find a Keeper of the Light, immediate Dismember Rot, followed up by the Solar Guardian. This is a dead Coddle, godlike now on the Pudge. Still has the haste, but no mana. Just has right clicks and Rot to kill these heroes. That's not going to stop the Pudge as he goes further in, trying to get a Axe kill, but Axe able to get out of there with help of Clockwork Cogs. PA, meanwhile, just very happy down here for the space. Continuing to farm up, trying to get Battle Fury. We have a double rotation through the gate by Clockwork Axe, trying to hunt her down, but PA sniffs that out and is just running completely away. Juggernaut is afraid of these heroes, showing top, taking his tower. Jug's just going to be safe farming, letting this tower fall. As that is the first tier 1 in the game to fall. Pudge leveraging that early game lead. 7,500 net worth now to the fullest effect. Pudge is going to be walking in, trying to find a target. Has the Blink Dagger, but no vision. Seems like Rasta wants to... Ooh, Clock is going to go into the jungle, find a PA. She blinks onto the creeps, but Clock trying to get her with the Battery Assault. The Battery Assault is only hitting the creeps, so finally procs on the PA. So that's going to be a solo kill by the Clock onto the PA, but the Pudge has come over now. Blinks in, dismembers. This is going to be a dead Clockwork. No saving him. So once again, the PA does die, but it does cost the Clockwork his life. Raiden doing a pretty good job of applying pressure. Dawn is staying top, keeping this lane very pushed in. Jakiro now comes mid, is working on this tower with the level 3 liquid fire. And bottom, you have the big bad Pudge, who's working towards BKB next item. It's going to be shoving this lane out, doing some damage to this bottom tier 1. Rasta is nearby, no blink, we have a smoke up from the Dark Willow, getting her Pudge with that. They're going to be invading the Dire Triangle. They're going to see the Axe. Pudge immediately blinks in. Follow up Solar Guardian. This is going to be a dead Axe. Emu does come in with the Keeper, trying to turn this. Ooh, nice shackle by the Rasta, keeping himself alive, and the poke out by Pudge, keeping Dawnbreaker alive. Caudle finally levels up Blinding Light just to push these oppressive Radiant heroes away. And they get the Axe, but that's all they get on the side of Radiant. Nice little chunk of gold there going away. PA and Juggernaut are fighting over last hit's bottom. Not sure if either of these heroes should feel very safe. Radiant's coming down. Now they're going to see the Rasta. Pudge blinks forward, gets hexed up, but is now on the Rasta with that rot. Caudle just in the back, only has the Illuminates to really help out. And Jug will immediately just go top. Start pushing. Has the Maelstrom now. That should really help out his farm. PA still a little ways off from the Battle Fury, about 1,000 gold. So should be having in the next 2 minutes or so. As Radiant are going to take this bottom tier 1, no contest. Radiant taking over Dire's Triangle, getting some wards up as the last tier 1 on Dire falls. Dire feeling a little bit hemmed in right now. Very scared of this 9,000 net worth Pudge, who is going to have the Battle Fury here in a second. Or not the Battle Fury, sorry, the Black King Bar. As Clockwork is going to reveal Under Vision. Pudge, not really interested in the two supports here, though. A lot of drawing happening on the map. Pudge is going to be walking under vision, so Dire knows he's here. Caudle immediately going back to tower. Radiant's objective kill is not amazing, as we have a hook shot onto the Jakiro. Nice hook by the Pudge. Gets that Clockwork out of there, so Jakiro stays alive. Follow-up Solar Guardian is going to stun the Clockwork, not really kill him, though. Pudge commits the BKB pretty early, in my opinion. He's just going to walk in now with the Rot, finds the Shadow Shaman, going to start working on him. Hook now on the Keeper of the Light, double rooted from the Bramble, as Pudge just walking at the Keeper. Ooh, stunned by the Dark Willow. It's going to keep him in place. Pudge is going to be able to walk at him, getting Dark Willow that kill. Space for Jug and Axe, I guess, as Axe starts working on this tower. PA, I think Jug was hunting for PA there. Jug has a little bit of PA kill with the Maelstrom. The Maelstrom does give a true attack, a true strike. 25% though, so not the greatest. As I was saying, Radiant does not have the greatest objective kill. They're pretty reliant on PA, who... Oh, it looks like PA's courier died. That probably had the Battle Fury on it, so delaying this Battle Fury timing even more. Not having a great game. We have double smokes up by both teams. Radiant is going to be running at this Keeper of the Light, who is showing in lane. Two supports are smoked up behind the Keeper, though. Probably going to turn into a fight here in a second. As we have got to keep an eye on the Pudge. Pudge is the primary initiator as the Black King Bar up again. Both teams very close to each other. Neither one seems to be the one they want to commit. Scan comes out. Radiant know that this is being taken, so it doesn't actually. Dire's not taking a lot of damage because of the healing ward. So this is a very slow Tormentor. Pudge is gonna walk in, Dire do get it. And yeah, this is a disaster fight for Dire as the Solar Guardians get a follow-up, get 3 kills. Axe tries to counter-initiate but gets used up. Clock getting super low. The Jug died. Clock follows. Now the Rasta gets worked on. He's going to die to the Pudge. And Dark Willow does die as sort of compensation, but now Drabs dies on that Axe. A 1 for 4 beyond godlike double kill for the Pudge. Keeper of the Light just getting out of there, TPing out of there, and pushing down this mid tower, trying to get some space. And yeah, it just took Dire so long to take that Tormentor that Radiant was able to get over there and contest. Radiant was unable to get the pick. It was just Pudge with the Rot trying to get that final tick onto the Tormentor. I don't know if Rot actually is able to get the final tick on Tormentor. I don't know if the damage from Rot is actually sufficient to defeat the regen from Tormentor. But regardless, Dire do lose the team fight, but get that 1400 gold swing. Shard goes to the Shadow Shaman. That's not the greatest one. It just makes the foul play a little bit better. That's not really the shard you want to get when you're far behind. Dawn is going to be found in the jungle, gets jumped blinked by the Axe. She will pop the Essence Ring. That will prevent the Coin Blade from connecting, so that's on cooldown now. They're going to keep going, though, as they kill her. Try and go on this Jakiro. Nice hook by the Pudge. It's going to prevent that kill. Dark Willow is going to stun up the Axe, keeping him inside the Macro Pyre. Pudge comes in now, blink onto the Axe. Starts working on him, keeping him full duration in the Macro Pyre. Dark Willow dies, though, followed by the Pudge. Godlike Streak going to Seal. In the back, P8 working on the Keep of the Light. This would be a huge kill if she can get it, but the Blinding Light pushes him away. Or her away, sorry. As now Axe wants to get the quintuple, and they will find Jakiro at the very end of that. Seal getting a double kill. As a massive gold swing. Now Dire leading the game in net worth advantage. And they'll take some ancient stacks to boot. Axe doing a ton of damage there. PA actually doing the most damage on the side of Radiant, which is kind of surprising. Jakiro had a full duration macro there on the Axe, or almost full duration. He still only did 1300 damage in that fight. And just like that, Dire's back in this game. Had to kill the Big Bag Pudge. It's going to be fight over the Wisdom Shrine as Axe blinks in, tries to kill this Dark Willow, but TP support and Solar Guardian support are going to bring this Axe down. Radiant will secure themselves that shrine after getting that kill. Nice coordination there by Janvas. Janvas? What's the name of the team? I hate when teams just pick these super long names. I'm going to shorten it. Anyway, Caudle is going to be bottom, pushing this out as the level 1 Dagon. Should probably be looking at items now. PA working towards BKB. It's going to be a pretty slow one, though. Have a Smoke Egg by Radiant. Once again, going top. Not find anything so far. Pudge working towards Aghanims. Yeah, has the Aghanims queued up. About 1,000 gold away from that. Dark Willow got the Yules. Jakiro went Force Staff. And the Dawn went Mage Slayer Sange. Looks like they're going S and Y. On Team Dire, Clockwork going Blade Mail and Glimmer Cape. Very defensive Clock, just trying to basically be as annoying as possible inside the cogs. Because you're probably going to get Jakiro comboed every single time you go in as Clockwork. Juggernaut finished up the Mjolnir, has Yasha working towards S and Y. Rasta went Force Staff, so no Blink Rasta this game. Just the Arcane Boots and Force Staff there. Axe, Blade Mail, Blink Dagger, Cloak, working towards BKB of his own. And Caudle has the bots, Spirit Vessel, and Dagon. Spirit Vessel, I imagine, for the Pudge. Pudge does have quite a bit of regen just now, but I guess it's also for the Dawn. Dawn is a regen hero, though not, you don't notice the regen so much. Bottom lane, Flare gonna scout at the Dawnbreaker. Hookshot just misses. Caudle's gonna come in and try and combo, though. Pushes them back into the Illuminate. Cancels the Solar Guardian with the Hex. Pudge is gonna blink on the Juggernaut. Try to bring the Juggernaut down. Jug immediately turns and omnis the Pudge. getting him so low. Pudge BKBs at the very last second. Axe comes in. Coaling Blades the Pudge, kills the Dark Willow. PA dies soon thereafter. Dawn now basically alone in this fight as Jakira's running away. Manages to get the kill on the Rasta, as the Jug did die there at the very end. But that is a 4 for 2. Jakira the only one alive, as they will escape and push out the top lane. Dire continue increasing their gold lead. They did lose the Juggernaut in that fight. That's a little bit unfortunate. You kind of want to see the Juggernaut stay alive in these fights, as Dire make sure they get lots of XP and gold. So the push won't be as strong as it otherwise would be. Might see... Yeah, it seems like Dire no. They had a ward on this Invis rune, so they know there's an Invis Jakiro in the area. Caudle going around the sentries, seeing if he can pick them off, but Jakiro is out of there. Radiant playing a little bit defensively now. They've lost a couple of fights. As we look at the graph, it's been quite a momentous gold swing, as Pudge is going to blink in, finding a Clockwork in lane. They're just going to explode him down. Nice pickup on Jerbear. Getting that kill, getting a huge chunk of gold there, 467. That will definitely help. Already had the Black King Bar, but now working towards their SNY. I appear to be getting comments about my map skin. I can show you what it is. I think I'm using the Moments World. I'm using Sanctums of the Divine, and I'm using Genuine Weather Spring, if you would like to see this map. We didn't really miss much there when I was showing that off. Radiant's kind of sticking on their side of the map, a little bit scared to do anything. The only objective available right now is the Roshan. Both sides have their tier 2s up, and both sides kind of want to win a team fight before pushing. Jug did just get his SNY, so Dire now probably looking for a fight. Keeper also getting the Octarine, so... Ooh, they're going to see a Dawn down here. Dawn showing in lane. Don't stick around for the Siege Creep Dawn. Ooh, they're just going to jump Dawn. That's going to be a dead Dawnbreaker. All 5 heroes showing. Kill that Dawn. No buyback. And this will likely be a tier 2 tower. As Radiant, you probably want to be shoving this top lane as quickly as possible to try and get a counter tower. Try and force rotation back, as this tower is as good as dead down here. Radiant not even contesting in the slightest. They will shove the lane top, but do not show, as they drop wards for the tier 2. Not sure if that was absolutely necessary. Maybe they're worried about the Dawn coming up and there being a counterfight. But they will get that tier 2, and the top tier 2 remains only slightly damaged on the side of Dire. In terms of how I feel like the matchups play against each other going into like the stage of the game, I feel like the PA is the most important asset on the side of Radiant. They need to get this PA fed. They need to make sure she gets either like pickoffs or is able to free farm. And the only one who can really deal with her is either a Caudle if the PA's BKB is on cooldown, or the Juggernaut once Juggernaut gets MKB. Mjolnir does help a little bit, also has that 25% chance to pierce True Strike. But Jug is a ways off from MKB, looks like, not prioritizing it at all. Did have a smoke play by Dire trying to find another pick. That could easily be turned into a tower push with these heroes. Roster Wars are on cooldown, but one hero dying, and Radiant have a very difficult time of fighting. But like I was saying, they just need to make sure this PA gets enough items to really just like destroy in fights while her team locks down heroes. Because Jakiro and Dark Willow haven't really built to be like cores of their own. They're very much supports, and they're just going to be reliant on their abilities to be doing damage in fights. We're not seeing like a Aghanim's Dark Willow, for example. So PA is the priority for Radiant. Make sure she has the best time as possible in fights. Tormentor's taken by Dire. And on the side of Dire, their priority needs to be killing this PA in fights. So I expect to see the PA get jumped a lot in these upcoming team fights. Tormentor Shard did go to the Axe. I don't think that's a great one. It applies Berserkers or Battle Hunger to Berserker Calls affected units, and you can stack Battle Hunger. Unless you're going that specific build, it's not that great, so just a small pickup on the side of Dire there. Radiant playing pretty close to their base. They know Dire's looking around. Looks like, as my game lags the crap out from the Dawnbreaker innate. Looks like Coddle did see the Dawnbreaker there, just poking with the Dagon, not doing much. We have a smoke out by Dire. I feel like if Radiant are not really showing or pressuring this much, you can get away with trying to go for the Roshan. Radiant are scanning it right now, but it's not, no one's in there because the Rosh is moving because it just went to daytime. So I would expect Dire to go for Roshan at some point here soon, because they're in the lead right now, but the longer this PA is allowed to farm, I feel like the harder your game is. Because PA does counter the Juggernaut late game. Coddle is chasing Dawnbreaker, but probably not going to be able to finish her off. She's just going to get under tower. Coddle will give up the chase. As I feel like Dire are kind of wasting their opportunity here. They're just farming, they're chasing heroes around the map. They're going back, forced to deal with these pushes. Pudge is probably silently pushing waves with the Ninja Gear plus Rot, so it's a little bit hard to keep track of when these waves are getting pushed out. Auto's going to be showing in lane here. I'm curious to see if the Pudge goes on this. Pudge is going to blink and dismember immediate Solar Guardian by Dawn. This is going to be a huge pickup. They're just going to pop the emo. Stead for 70 seconds, no buyback. As now Juggernaut might run into the PA here. PA 8 seconds on Blur, has the BKB. But Jug, I feel like you... What do you do here? Just going to chase the PA for now. Gives up the kill. Jug can't use the Omni Slash because the Blur gets rid of it. So both cores kind of respecting each other there. We have a smoke play by Radiant now. Looking for another kill. Looking for a fight now that this Keeper of the Light is dead. That was a very rare opportunity there. I feel like Radiant need to capitalize this. They're going to be running in now aggressively. Smoke is going to break on the Dark Willow. They see the Juggernaut. She's going to blink in, get immediately hexed, but gets the Shadow Realm off. She's going to get hooked out. The clock follows up hook shot. We have 2 goes right now as Pudge is going to go on the Rasta. Likely going to kill him as the Dark Willow now getting low by the Clockwork. Going to die to that. The Rasta is going to die as looks like the Dawn tried to chase the Juggernaut. Gets killed by the Axe as Clockwork now chasing Crash PA. He's going to blink in BKB. No detection for the Clock. Just going to invis up. Double Ice Path onto the Jug and Axe as now the Pudge is getting gone on PA. Just trying to get out of there. Pudge is buying her some space. Pudge very low, about to die. Yeah, PA is just going to get out of there. And 2 cores end up dying on the side of Radiant, along with a support, and 2 supports die on the side of Dire. So overall, win for Dire, especially considering that Keeper was dead, did not buy back. So very good by Dire to kind of like delay as long as possible to get that Keeper up and respawn and TP into the fight. They're going to transition this into a Roshan. And imagine this is going to go in the Juggernaut. Juggernaut has dropped an item for it. We'll go to the Juggernaut, and we're likely going to see the push very soon here. Radiant have okay high ground defense. They have the hook. You can drop like macro pyres in the choke point. You can drop terrorizes and brambles inside this small choke point. PA can throw daggers. So yeah, they have pretty good high ground and push and poke. to try and blunt this offensive. One big issue I see is the Juggernaut does have the healing ward. Jug did go the talent to increase it to 3 attacks to kill. But that healing ward is going to blunt a lot of the poke and damage that Radiant can use to try and stop this push. Dire are going to run mid. I'm curious to see if they push mid or go top after this. Top lane is all the way up here, so it's going to take them a while to try and get that out. We might have a go here bottom. Pudge is going to blink in on the Keeper of the Light. Keeper does have the shield rune, so very hard target to kill. Pudge not popping the BKB for the moment. She just keeps running around, trying to get the Caudle, but Caudle just able to run away. Dawn in the back gets caught by the axe. Nice 2-man call there. Going to die. They pick up the Clockwork, but Dawn now is going to buy it back. No Solar Guardian. She has to come in manually, as PA is going to find the axe, bring him down. Ooh, Rasta trying to find the Phantom Assassin. She's shackled up. Jug trying to find the kill. Illuminate. Ooh, just barely dodges the Illuminate in the back. Pudge does die to the Juggernaut, as the Caudle is going to finish off the PA maybe. Blinking out for the time being. Does go down, I think, to a Mjolnir strike. Yeah, Granola picks up that kill. Triple kill for Granola. Dawnbreaker did buy it back. This would be pretty disastrous if she dies now. They do have buybacks on Jakiro and Dark Willow. Jakiro going to buy back, but it might be too late as the Dawn does go down now. Die back on the Dawn. They won't have her for 90 seconds. Radiant did fort, so no fort available to stop this continued push. Granola, Mjolnir, Ags, SNY working towards that MKB now to finally deal with this PA. As the Juggernaut and Keeper together finally go high ground, they're going to crock it, get that tier 3, and push with this double catapult wave. First Drax falls, followed by the second. Juggernaut will Blade Fury away that Terrorize. And no danger whatsoever. Clockwork blinks in, trying to find Jakiro. Hook shots the creeps. PA and Pudge are coming up, so you probably don't want to stick around too long. The entire Dire team is available now. Jug has that Aegis for another 2 minutes. As we're going to have a... looks like a defense of this bottom Rax. You could pretty easily just have this Jug go high ground with the healing ward right behind him. As let's look at buyback status here. We have the hook. Nice hook on the Juggernaut there, kind of threading it through the needle. Not sure if that's the hero you want to go on though, as full HP with Aegis. He kind of wants to be in the middle of things. 1 second on the Omni. Now has the Omni. You got to be careful about that. Dire now working on the second set. Has the healing ward. They drop the wards as well, so I feel like Radiant here just have to give it up. PA just going for the Wisdom Shrine, farming up. Radiant does have this tier 2 remaining still, so they can't get mega creeps at the moment. But it's only going to be a matter of time before Dire come up here and push this last lane out. Only heroes on the side of Radiant with buyback are PA and Dark Willow. Pudge needs 500 gold for that buyback. Pudge has the Plate Mill, Ags, BKB. Very tanky hero, just needs to stay alive as long as possible in fights and rot. Radiant are not interested in defending this tower. Maybe get a hook. Looks like Pudge is hanging out on the side area here, looking for something. No vision. Oh, actually, they had vision on the Clockwork. They're going to start the fight here. PA's going to come in. They burst him down. Axe Call finds 2. Ooh, this is not good here. Terrorize comes in. I think it was on BKB targets, though. As now the Dawnbreaker getting super low. Dies now. No buyback. Still on that cooldown. Hook misses. And the Ignis is going to prevent any kind of reinitiation. BKB by the Phantom Assassin. I think she wanted to go in on the Caudle or the Jug there, but decided against it. So Clock dies. And Dawnbreaker dies. Ends up being a net lead for Radiant as they are 19,000 in the hole now. I don't think Dire particularly care. The Radiant are missing their 3. And Jug's here. Doesn't have the healing ward just yet. They're going to drop wards now on the tower. Sports need to start working on these wards here. There's no clock initiation. Shaman doesn't have a blink. Yeah, here we go. The Jakiro and the Dark Willow start working on these wards, just right-clicking. They'll drop the fort as well. As Pudge is going to blink. Ooh, just misses the Rosses there with that hook. Clock now is up. Is going to TP in to back up his team. Dawn dead for another 10 seconds. And Dire just chilling for the moment. Probably worried about a smoke. Jakiro going to come out of base, deward this, so Dire should expect there to be a ward here. No sentries on Rasta. Hookshot in onto the Jakiro, drops the cogs as well. Jakiro's going to force staff out of there. And now the Clockwork was sitting in macro for a long time, half HP, getting super low. Pudge is going to right-click. Hook comes out, secures that kill. The Ignis comes out, though. And that's probably going to be enough to secure this last set of racks, unless PA has something to say about it. PA wants to go on this Rasta, staying out of sight for now. Jug is going to run away, leaving the racks at half HP. And that's going to be it for that push. No Rasta wards. Ignis out. And Dire just chilling. They want to get this last set of racks. Jug does have the Q. So could potentially walk up and do a bit of damage. You just got to be worried about the hook and dismember because they do go through BKB. Dawnbreaker has respawned. Clock up in 15 seconds. Can TP once again to this outpost once they're up. Pudge got a little bit out of base. Caudle was hook shot or hook misses. And Illuminate's keeping these siege creeps topped off as they start working on this melee racks. It's a little bit difficult for Radiant to kill these creeps here. They drop the wards again. They are not going to be able to kill these wards in time. The Rex is going to fall. That's going to be Megas, but the fight is going to start now as Jug goes in, Omnis, does a ton of damage. Jakiro falls, no buyback. Axe now call onto 2, onto the Dawn and Dark Willow. Dark Willow falls. Coaling Blades the Dawnbreaker. And Jug did die there. Looks like the PA focused him down. So without the Jug, Dire not really keen to push. Pudge trying to find something. Has the blink in a second. Hook is just going to miss. Onto that Rasta. And where'd the Jug die? Okay, looks like the Jug popped out in the back and PA probably just right-clicked him down. Overall net worth victory for Dire because of that buyback, but they didn't lose the game there on Radiant, and that's probably a big win. We have a hook shot onto the Pudge. He's half HP, still has the BKB. Just gonna pop it, start working on this Clockwork. Axe now get a blink in, called up the Pudge. PA trying to help her Pudge out. Pudge doing a lot of damage with his Rot. And Pudge is gonna be left for dead. Pudge does have buyback, so it's okay if he dies. And now Dire not buying back on the Jug. Keep pressuring in. PA bought a Divine Rapier. We have Divine now. Not sure how long ago that was bought. I'm pretty sure they just bought that actually because they don't have any gold left. So, Divine, we have PA. Oh, 1 second on BKB getting pushed around. Finally BKBs. Has to just walk out of there. PA, you got to go in now. This is your one chance to win the game. Starts doing tons of damage, kills the clock, kills the axe, runs away half HP. Now these two Dire heroes are in a little bit of trouble. Ooh, Shadow Shaman, Force Staff wasn't long enough. He's going to die. Jug is coming. Jug did respawn, is coming in. No BKB on the PA. She's just going to get out of there. As Keeper was trying to keep her in place. But PA able to retreat back to her team. Jug now sniffing the area. Wants to go on this PA. Smelling that Divine. And caution on both sides. Surprised to see this aggression actually on Dire. This could be a little disastrous here. PA just stunning up the Juggernaut. Jug doesn't have a blink or anything, only has the Ogre Club, so he has to manually walk in to initiate. Dire doing their best to defend this, and seems like or Radiant doing their best to defend this as Dire have retreated. So Radiant allowed to regain control of their base. Let's do another item check. Dawn did go Aghanims. So trying to get as max value heal as possible with that Solar Guardian. Jakiro went Ags as well. I feel like Radiant recognized they have a damage problem. And so getting that Ags now is very helpful. PA went the Divine, which I feel like saved the game from just ending there. As looks like Dire are going to be killing Roche, put the Aegis on Juggernaut. And likely going to be a push here in a second. PA went Basher, that's going to help to kill the Jug and the upcoming fights. Darkwood went Atos. Pudge, BKB working towards Lotus. Courier did die. And Dire are now coming in looking for a pick, looking for a way to end this game. Juggernaut did go MKB working towards that Nullifier. Clock went Orchid, Halberd, Blink. We have the hook shot in onto the Pudge, followed up by the Axe Blink. Slaughter's going to come out, keep the Pudge alive for a second. Just a big old clump of heroes right here in the middle of the base as I need to follow the PA. PA goes down, Divine on the deck. Jug, very low HP, has the Aegis. PA no buyback as the Dawn goes down all alone. Where did that Divine go? Pudge has the Divine, but it doesn't do anything because it wasn't picked up by an enemy. Juggernaut now. Just going to turn on this Dark. Nice shackle by the roster there, keeping Dark Dawnbreaker contained. Dawnbreaker will go down. GG is called, no buyback on her. Without any buybacks on the PA or the Dawn, there's just no way to do this ultra kill on Granola. Give him the Rampage. Give him the Rampage. Ah, no Rampage. As Dire will take that 43-41. The kills say it's a close game, but that's a 30,000 gold advantage for Dire there. And I do like the Rapier pickup. I feel like they had a severe damage problem on Radiant, but in the end, it was just too many buildings dead by the time the PA got online. And our Plasma's Legend takes the dub. We'll be back shortly with Game 2, so stick around. And we'll see you soon. Testing. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Phase Dota Circuit Season 8. Our Pause When His Legend versus Jason Voss Foundation picks for the Cure. Best of 2. Our Pause When His Legend won last game. Pretty decisively at the end there. Jason Voss had the early game, was winning lanes pretty hard. Their PA did not have the greatest time, though. Pudge ended up being top net worth for quite a long time, but just was not really able to transition the game into the state they needed for the PA to take off and win them the game. Bans so far very similar to last game. We see Wraith King and Medusa get banned by our Pause When His Legend once again. Jason Voss bans 2 heroes they banned first phase last time as well with the Nyax and Ancient Apparition. So far identical bans to last game. Clock gets banned this time by our Pause When His Legend. So probably didn't want to pick it and didn't want Crash to have it. So ban it out. So we're going to have a difference in draft this time around. Tiny gets banned, which Tiny was banned by Jason Voss in the last game. So the bans that, or the heroes that were banned last game that are still in the pool were the TA, which gets banned now, and Earthshaker. So Clock gets banned in lieu of the Earthshaker. Earthshaker gets immediately picked up by Jason Voss. Let me pull up my spreadsheet. Earthshaker looks like signature hero of Blaka. So this is going to be a mid Earthshaker. Very strong mid hero. Blaka is the highest MMR on the team of Jason Voss. So if you have like a MMR advantage, Earthshaker can absolutely win lanes and then go around and stomp. And compared to a Pudge, which is what Blaka played last game, Earthshaker has way better team fight and just like anti-clump. Like he's able to just counter initiate so hard or start fights so hard. You can solo kill heroes so easily. You aren't reliant on, you don't have to like throw your body in and just try and like survive long enough to kill heroes of rot. You basically just go in with the combo and Echo Slam, Fissure, just right click heroes down. So a lot more bursty compared to the Pudge of last game. Sand King gets picked by our Pause When His Legend. That hero was banned second phase, so it gets through. And I think this is either a 3 or a 2 Sand King. Further bans are going to be Death Prophet and Queen of Pain and Huskar. So Queen of Pain gets banned once again. Death Prophet was banned last game as well in the second phase, so not too much variance on our Pause When His Legend. Surprised to see the Huskar get banned second phase, so Jason Voss already protecting their mid pick by getting rid of the Queen of Pain and the Huskar, both heroes that can bully the Earthshaker out of lane. Gonna see Underlord get picked, so you already see 2 cores get picked up by Jason Voss. 2 very tanky strength heroes. And picking these heroes this early up, once again in the draft, you can bully, similar to the Juggernaut of last game, you can bully these 2 heroes with picks going forward. I don't think the Sand King has a great time versus Underlord, but you can pick. I mean, if the heroes play it, Rubik is the hardest counter for Underlord. That may be why Jason Voss picked the Pugna, because Pugna is pretty decent against Rubik. You just drop the Nether Ward and the Rubik has a hard time doing anything. Silencer comes out. Silencer is a great counter initiation hero. So if the Underlord comes in with like the Gate or Earthshaker tries to Echo combo Fissure, you can just drop Global and buy your team time to get to safety. Looking at drafts right now, so Sand King gives you a good initiation, good laning presence, good area CC with the epicenter. Dark Willow likes to drop spells in an area, so she can follow up with the Sand King's initiation and just drop brambles and terrorizes to try and do tons of magic damage. Silencer is pretty good in the lane. They're gonna do a Necrophos as well. They're pretty squishy on the side of our pause when his legend right now. Necro is gonna be your front line, but needs items to really do accomplish that. I guess Necro isn't too afraid of Dyer's draft right now. Doesn't really care about the Pugna that much. And kind of heals through Underlords bullshit. I feel like our Plasma's Legend could have a little bit more bursts. They kind of take a while to kill heroes at the moment. Between the Dark Willow Silencer and Necrophos, and Epi as well isn't really like a big, huge nuke. It just does damage over time. So, like, if you pick a carry with the BKB on the side of Dire, you're gonna have an easy time of just like BKBing to try and avoid most of the wombo combo that our Plasma's Legend is putting out. As let's open the chat, make sure I'm not hearable in game. On the side of Dire, Earthshaker, if this is a Necrophos 2, which it's either Sand King 2 or Necro 2, I feel like Earthshaker has a pretty decent time against both those heroes. He has the worst time against Necrophos. Because you kind of need to play like a regen hero or something that can dodge Necrophos's Qs, like a puck, in order to do well against him. But if this is an Earthshaker Necrophos matchup, probably not going to be too fun for the Earthshaker. Underlord, you usually want to pick like a ranged one to deal with the Underlord. If you pick something like a troll, for example, which gets banned, the trolls just kind of gets whittled down. You usually want to get something with like sustain or something with like escape to dodge the firestorm, or just a ranged hero to avoid the firestorm altogether. To try and deal with the Underlord, he doesn't have a great time versus melee heroes that just want to like hit you, for example. Pugna, good save. Pugna is usually best against like right-clicking carries, like to defeat physical damage, and there wasn't a ton of physical damage picked when the Pugna was picked. It was just Dark Willow Sand King, I believe. So you don't really save for a lot with the Pugna. It's a pretty good laner. It gives you tower push. So Pugna plus Underlord. I imagine that if those two are laning together, that top tower is gonna die bottom tower, because that's the off lane, is gonna die very quickly. Juggernaut gets picked up. That's gonna be likely their one, played by Chair Bear. Juggernaut definitely has an easier time in lane than a Phantom Assassin, because you can generally just queue away if people are going on you. You can go into jungle and queue stacks. You don't really need items to take stacks. So I'm pretty sure we see the 1, 2, and 3 on Jason Voss. So our pause when his legend picking or banning out supports, what they probably think is the 4. And Rubik this is a pretty nice Rubik game. You can steal the Reaper's Scythe, you can steal like Terrorize, you can steal Burrow Strike or Epicenter. All very annoying spells to have to play against. And Ringmaster right now is... Actually, Ringmaster is a very nice ban. I like that because the Escape Act can just nullify the Necrophos Reaper Scythe. So banning out more saves is really good. Make sure Necro is able to get the Reaper Scythes off. Jason Voss think they don't see the 1, so they're going to ban out Troll and Bloodseeker. Both kind of signature heroes are very commonly played by Granola, who is the 1 on our pause when his legend. Jason Voss, I feel like they lack just a cheap stun. They have the Earthshaker mid, but in lanes, like you generally want like a Crystal Maiden or like a Jakiro to pair up the Juggernaut, something with like a slow or a stun, so the Juggernaut can get on top of them and just spin them down if you want to win the lane like that. Jug Pugna isn't amazing. Pugna W's heroes, so they're slow and they take more magic damage, which does combo with DQ, but Pugna Decrep does not work very well with Omni Slash. I don't think those two heroes work particularly well in lane. It's okay. It's not the greatest matchup. Gotta see a Venge. So Venge does give you that save for the Reaper Scythe. If this is a 5 Venge, that gives you a stun, that gives you negative armor. If you want to pair that with that Juggernaut. Pretty good lane partner. I do like Venge over Pugna. In lane, Pugna, I feel like you want to throw off the Underlord because Underlord's going to be shoving out waves with Firestorm. And so the creeps are always going to be under tower, and then you could just max level your Netherblast and just push towers with Netherblast, try and get that bottom tower very easily. And if you're looking to pick one this position versus Pugna Underlord, I feel like you just get something that can blow up waves to try and prevent the push. I don't have Underlord's stats in front of me. They're going to go with Spectre. That's the opposite of what I was thinking. Well, Spectre has a hard time pushing out waves. She's very weak laner. She's a melee hero. And I feel like doesn't have a... She has a illusion here. If she goes Manta, she can purge out Decrep, but I do not like the Spectre pick. Like, it's hard to go on the Pugna because the Pugna can just Decrep himself, and you have to go Nullifier to prevent that. You can go Orchid, a Spectre, to try and force the Juggernaut to go like Manta or a Self-Purge to prevent getting Orchided and Burst. I feel like our Plasmid Legend lacks burst damage, and they lack lane presence, and they lack kind of ways to deal with the Underlord. I'm just wondering what the idea of the Spectre is. Like, I assume it's just follow up for when the Sand King goes in. Like, you hope your Necrophos and Sand King go in. So this is gonna be 3 Sand King, 2 Necrophos, and you just go in after that. I see the reasoning behind Venge. I just don't see it with the Spectre. So draft-wise, I give it to Dire. In terms of cosmetics, I'd also give that to Dire. A lot of flashiness going on there. Necrophos skin is pretty cool, though. And I think I'm going to give the draft to Jason Voss. I feel like their support duo is just a little single target for my liking with Venge and Pugna. And neither of those heroes does a ton of damage. One problem that Jason Voss had last game is their supports didn't do any damage additional to what their abilities did. Because the Dark Willow was the 4, as I get my camera going. The Dark Willow was the 4, and Dark Willow did not go like Ags or any kind of right-clicking item, so they were kind of down a core. And they really needed that extra damage in fights. And it's kind of similar in this game where you have the Venge and the Pugna, which don't really offer that much core potential. You could go right-click Venge as a 4, and you could go like Ags and a Shard as Pugna, try and do like lots of damage in fights. I imagine that's the path you go for here to try and like supplement the damage on the team with Dire. But regardless, game has started. Let's introduce the players once again. Radiant has smoked up, invaded the Dire Triangle, found nothing, and are retreating back. Emu's going to be playing the Necrophos, Drabs on the Sand King, Granola on the Spectre, Epitrunks on the Dark Willow, and Seal on the Silencer. In the top lane, we have Jerbear on the Juggernaut, Crash on the Pugna, Laka on the Earthshaker, Domo Flip on the Underlord, and Jimmy Pesto on the Venge. Good luck, have fun's come out in this game 2 of this best of 2. As looks like we're not going to see a fight this time around. Radiant going to be taking the bottom runes, and Dire taking the top runes. So looks like it's going to be Pugna Jug Not the greatest combo in my opinion. Like the main combo is you decrep to slow and increase the magic damage from Blade Ward or Blade Fury. You're going to need a lot of sentries in this lane, I feel, to prevent the Sand King from just sandstorming it off and running away with that. Okay, so with these revised lanes, bottom lane, I think, goes to Dire here as Venger and Silencer are kind of doom clicking each other. Silencer is sitting under tower, so is getting that additional armor and regen. So that's pretty advantageous for the Silencer to be doing that. Dark Willow getting very low by the Pugna up here. Pugna just running at the Dark Willow. Q comes out. Dark Willow uses the Fairy Fire, drops the root. Pugna's going to run into it. This is a very fast hero, 330 move speed versus 290. So Crash is going to be able to run Dark Willow down here. One more right click. We'll get that first blood going to Crash. Nice little pickup there to start out the lane. As Juggernaut takes the time to type out a message. So mid lane, it is the Earthshaker versus the Necrophos. Earthshaker I don't think has a great time in this lane. Necrophos just kind of out-regens him. Maxes out that Death Pulse, Qs him out of lane. As Earthshaker doesn't really go too many regen items. Looks like they're not going bottle. Looks like they're just going like double bracer or rape bracer to try and deal with this damage. Bottom lane, the Wild Ring Ripper pushes Underlord to the Spectre. Ben's gonna get a little out of position, getting very low. One more right click's gonna secure that kill. +1 int for the Silencer. Underlord now having to run away from the Spectre. Silencer is a very strong laner. Like you can't just right click heroes with the Q and the glaives. And so maybe I'm underestimating this Radiant lane here. Silencer Spectre can absolutely do a ton of damage. As Pugna Crash is just going to be bullying Ipa even more, trying to right-click them down. Drops the ward inside the trees there, try and scare him away. As the first Lotus will come up. Seal is going to be grabbing the bottom one, and Ipa is going to be grabbing the top one. As once again I forget to do last hits at the start of the game. Necrophos is leading, has almost double the CS of Laka, so Emu having a much better game than last game, having the matchup versus what it was like in the last game with that Coddle versus Pudge, with the Pudge having a 4 kills at the start of the game. And Juggernaut is second in net worth. You love to see that on the side of Dire, as Venge getting very low, trying to deny to creeps. Will die. +1 in for the Silencer once again. Just getting too low. Maybe I should be looking at this bottom lane. Earthshaker getting very low mid to the Necrophos. Necrophos just full HP, full resources. It's very difficult for this Earthshaker to do anything into this Necrophos. That's the danger with picking that hero so early. You open yourself up to counter picks like the Necrophos. They tried banning out the Queen of Pain and the Huskar, try and save that pick, but Necrophos did get through, and Necrophos is having a good time in that way. Bottom CS for the cores are Drabs on the Sand King. Jug is a pretty nice attack animation, but I imagine it's just hard to... No Drew Crip on the Pug, so not even bothering with that combo. Instead opting to max out Nether Blast. And as Radiant, you really have to do your best to try and get the... make sure there's no sentries in the lane. Because you can get you're much safer and you have a much better lane if you're able to be invisible the whole time. These sentries just prevent you from getting last hits that easily. Earthshaker getting very low mid. Emu wants to get the kill. Earthshaker very low to the Heartstopper. 1Q is gonna put Earthshaker in kill range now. And will be forced to retreat once again to base, having to do it twice before 6 minutes. That is pretty despair there. So it seems like swapping the Venge and Pugna did ensure that the Jug has a good lane. As Jug is having a very good lane right now, 15 denies, as we have a bit of a fight bottom. Spectre and Underlord fighting each other. Spectre probably doesn't win that right-click trade. Sounds are doing his best to try and scare this Underlord away. But Underlord is a pretty tanky hero. Has 5 passive regen with that Bracer. Pugna now getting very low top. As looks like Crash did... Ooh, nice deny there on Pugna, preventing that gold. I think it's like 30 gold or something. It's not that much, but loses the courier for it. Nice pick by Ipa there. Sand King has to queue away from the Juggernaut, who's just spinning to win at them, forcing these 2 Radiant Heroes away. What was I saying before? Right, swapping the Pugna and Venge, putting the Venge as the 4 and Pugna as the 5, didn't ensure that Jug is having a very nice lane. But the Venge is not having a great lane as... Ooh, Seal stole the Wisdom. Venge went for the stun, didn't walk onto the shrine first. I think that Venge could have stopped that shrine from being taken there. Had Venge gone for the... had walked first before stunning, but Seal's gonna get the shrine. Does die for it, though. So... Radiant get both of those shrines as the Earthshaker is going to attempt to Echo Slam the Necrophos, but not nearly enough damage. Necro's just going to turn around, Reaper Scythe the Earthshaker dead. As Emu might be biting off more than he can chew. Has the Q, might be baiting Crash into a kill here, but just going to run away. Bottom lane Venge did die once again to the Spectre. Silencer, just the double slow combo between these two, I guess is sufficient enough to just kill this hero over and over and over again. Jug spinning to win at the Sand King. Sand King getting pretty low, but there's a Dark Willow nearby. Jug has the Omni, wants to use it, running at him. Bramble's going to force the Jug back. As I want to take a look at kills. Venge has died 3 times, so of the 4 kills that Radiant has, 3 of them are on the Venge. So not the worst. It'd be a lot worse if like cores were dying on their side. Sand King going to run to Triangle to start getting stacks as level 3 Sandstorm, so pretty effective at getting these kills, or getting these CS. Crash is going to come over and scout this house, have the dust. Looks like, yeah, they had a ward to see this. Dark Willing even very low, was taking a brunt of all those spells there. There is a Nether ward here, so it's going to be doing a lot of damage. Spectre now comes in, Necro ult onto the Pugna, getting him very low. Spectre commits for it, gets the Pugna now. Now Venge once again. Oh no, not again, Venge. One right click. Ooh, running to the Jug. Jug has no Q. Dark Willow has to go into the Roshan pit. I want to see what's happening there. Ooh, commits the Omni for it. 1 tick on the Omni to get that Dark Willow. As Underlord does go down over here to the Necro and Silencer. Earthshaker wants to turn this, so drops the Echo Slam. 1 more right click. Ooh, another miscalculation by Blocka on that damage. Not enough to kill the Necrophos. Will die to the Arcane Curse. Actually, Granola will get the last hit there. But now gets negative armored under tower, having to run away. Does have the Spectral Dagger. We'll just TP back to base. Ooh, next to a Haste Rune. Venge has the stun. Venge saw that a little bit earlier. Could have canceled that. That would have been pretty devastating, actually, for the Spectre. So at the end of it, it's a 1 for 4. 1,000 gold swing advantage for Radiant, as Necrophos did by far the most damage in that fight. Rotation by the Venge on the mid. Emu just feels like Emu keeps getting away with murder over and over, as Emu's just gonna run away there. Supports don't have enough damage to kill them. And I feel for this Earthshaker, man. If we go to net worth, I imagine Earthshaker. Yeah, so Earthshaker is in the PA spot from last game, where just very low in terms of net worth, just not contributing that much, just having a hard time farming. Can only really farm when the Necrophos is gone. But unlike a PA, Earthshaker can absolutely just make up for that deficit very quickly with just 1 or 2 fights. Because you have that Echo Slam, which can just turn fights on a dime. We've seen 2 whiffed Echo Slams so far, as Earthshaker has tried desperately to kill this Necrophos. Hasn't been good enough. Necrophos now has the Boots of Travel, working towards that Radiance. About... how much gold is that? 4,700, 23, 24. About 6 minutes off of that, so maybe like a 17, 18 minute Radiance for Necrophos if he keeps farming the way he is. Top lane, Jug is doing some damage on the Sand King. We have a Global Silence. That's going to prevent the Jug from Omni Slashing or Blade Fearing away from the Spectre. Nice coordination there by Radiant, using the Global and the Spectre to pick off that Juggernaut. As Radiant's Dark Willow is a little behind enemy lines here, looking for Crash. He's pretty low. Has no ward to scout him out. Probably gonna have a fight here in a moment. Juggernaut's gonna be TPing in. Off the respawn, we'll go on the Silencer. He's just gonna spin the wind to kill that Silencer. Emu's here. Boots have traveled in under tower, half HP. Has the Reaper's Scythe. Wants to use it on something. Underlord now is coming in. This is a huge kill on the Necrophos. Nice swap to finish that off. On the side, the Juggernaut did find the Dark Willow as well. Omni the Dark Willow to get that kill. So double kill for the Juggernaut. That is a huge chunk of gold going to Juggernaut there. 3 for nothing. A really serious misplay by Radiant there in losing those kills. Necro just not able to find a target to Reaper's Scythe, and Radiant not respecting the respawn time on Juggernaut. Earthshaker going for Blink Dagger, about halfway to that item. That's going to be a very important item, I imagine. He's going to be able to hunt the Spectre. Once he has that, Spectre won't be able to lane as easily. Once the Earthshaker has the Blink Dagger. Top lane, we have it go onto the Pugna. Decrypts himself, runs away with the Terrorize. Looks like Epi was committed for that. We didn't catch the Epi, as Juggernaut is now going to run at Drabs. Drabs just keys away into the trees, though. It looks like we have some nice stacks being made in Dire's Triangle. Jimmy Pesto doing a good job of those. So net worth-wise, Juggernaut is top, just by a couple CS over Necrophos, but it's 3 Radiant cores after the Jug. So Jug's teammates are having not the greatest time. Underlord did get that nice pickup on the Necrophos. Ooh, nice pickup on Pugna there. Just missed what happened there. Looks like Spectre came in. Drabs, yeah, likely just stunned up, followed by the Spectre to get that kill. It's very difficult as a support to show in lane with the Spectre online, because you're always down. They're always up a man and can kill you very quickly when the Spectre has ultimate. Jaybear has Omni, probably wants to use it, as Radiant are going to start shoving this tower. Juggernaut has picked up that Maelstrom, so Jug's farm will begin accelerating, as Radiant are picking up a pretty nice advantage. Ooh. Looks like Jug did find the Silencer, dropped the Omni on him to get that kill. Underlord now coming in to follow up. They find the Dark Willow as well, so both supports dying there. Jug. Very nice pickup by the Jug, finding that opportunity, dropping the Omni to get the kill on that Silencer. Plus Dark Willow. So right now Dire is pretty dependent on this Jug. The Jug is having an excellent game. I think Earthshaker just Echo Slammed the creeps. I really wish I had caught that on camera, but yeah, Earthshaker absolutely did just Echo Slam the creeps there. Looks like he pulled both waves together, just Echo Slam them to just farm. When you're this far behind, I respect that, you know? You got that Blink Dagger? No? You just need some mana, you can go and start hunting heroes. Underlord is gonna get poked at by the Silencer, gets swapped away by Venge. I'm trying my hardest to just follow what's happening. There's so much action happening. Necrophos does go bottom. Radiant may want to start pushing out this wave. It's a little hard to do it with the Firestorm. Necrophos is going to walk in. Ooh, Blink reveal by the Earthshaker. Global comes out a second too late. Cannot save the Necrophos. Just tons of damage by the Earthshaker. They're popping that Necrophos, who only has his Sacred Relic Boots of Travel, so not really that tanky. We have an Epi channel by Drabs, blinks in on the Underlord. Underlord does have that full pipe though, so very tanky. Does end up going down. Spectre did come in at the tail end of that Crash. All alone now. Can get swapped out by Venge. Venge does not come in. And Crash will be left for dead. So Echo does die, but Radiant or Dire not respecting the blink on Drabs. Not sure if that was a blink reveal or not. But that Epi was pretty devastating. Getting 2 kills. I'm wondering if Radiant want to go for Tormentor. They're nearby. May just be waiting for heroes to come in to help them out with it. And Dire might be a little suspicious of what's going on. Ooh, I think Avenge had turned there just a second earlier and Nether swapped. I think that would have been a dead Silencer with that Underlord TPing. And Jug is playing very aggressively here. Looking for Emu. Sees the creeps. Knows that Necro is here. As Omni, but you obviously can't go on a Necrophos with Growth Shroud up. As Emu's going to be running at Jerber. I want to look at bottom, as we have a little bit of a go there, but Juggernaut able to get away from there. Looks like he had help from the Fissure to try and prevent that Necrophos from running at him. Underlord drops the root onto Sand King. Both teams recognizing that bottom is the place to play with the Tormentor up. Venge is going to see the Silencer, drops the stun and the wave. Hung the ward in the trees. They're going to swap the Silencer. Gets exploded by the Earthshaker from half HP to nothing. Right click with that max level enchant totem. Drabs is going to have Epi here in a second. Once again, this could be pretty dangerous. Drabs gets a couple of heroes with this. Drabs hiding in the sand. Root comes out, but he's going to blink away at the last second. As there's no Silencer for 3 more seconds. I think Radiant are going to give this one up. Top lane, there's a bit of interaction between these two heroes. Looks like Jug is just TPing back to base. The tower did fall bottom. Underlord alone has the pipe though, so he's pretty tanky versus these two supports. Spectre's going to come in, followed by the Global. They're trying to pick off Pugna, but he got the Decrypt off, so he's able to survive for a little bit longer. Drabs now comes in with the Epi, doing tons of damage. Earthshaker is able to run out of it from the Terrorize, leaving the Underlord for dead. Dark Willow now, gets popped by the Enchant Totem. So 1 for 1 so far. Sand King getting so low. Venge, 1 right click, gets that Sand King. But that will cost her life as Spectre is going to pick up the kill on Jimmy Pesto. Earthshaker finds the totem kill onto Seal. And now Granola goes down. Mega 5-streak. Blocka getting a ton of gold at the end there. Triple kill on Blocka. 1100 gold for him. Emu was not there for the fight. Did not have TP. Kind of maybe a misplay there. I think Jug was showing top, and so Emu likely TP'd up there to try and go for him, but Jug just TP'd out of there. And so I didn't see a Jug in that fight either, so neither of those heroes were in that fight. But Emu's absolutely a hero with the Radiance and the Q that you want in fights. Emu's just body blocking, trying to do damage to this Jug, but Jerbear aware of what's happening with that Radiance and Heartburn. All chatting, get away. As Emu's just teasing him there. Smoke plate by Dire. Yeah, Block Avenge and Crash all running mid. Earthshaker needs a little bit of mana. He doesn't have Echo Slam and Fissure combo. Ooh, just gets mana boots by the Pugna, so does have that. Silencer. This is a very dead Silencer here. Earthshaker's just gonna blink in, double enchant totem, pop him dead, and there should be a free tower. Unless Drabs wants to do something. 8 seconds on the epicenter, but Drabs is gonna blink away. I have an Underlord going for the Wisdom Shrine as Crash grabs the other one. So Dire this time get both Wisdom Shrines. Sand King showing mid. Juggernaut runs in, dusts, does not, or catches the Sand King, but Sand King is just too far away at that point. Dire now just running around as a pack, trying to find kills. And Radiant are doing their best to try and avoid this. Dark Willow warding up the gate, Sand King playing very close to tower. And Dire has to be a bit careful of this global, which can absolutely devastate any kind of initiation they try to do.
I'm having a great time.
Spectre's going to be showing bottom, but she can ult in if any fight happens. Radiant does smoke up. They see Venge here. Global comes out. Nice global. Drabs had the Epi already channeled, just devastating the backline. Glimmer Cape and Pipe are going to keep Crash alive, so no Necro ult. Venge will die though. Pugna just ulting Granola on the side. Trying to keep track of these cores here as Venge and Necro go down. Spectre getting very low to Blocka. Does not commit the Echo, just enchant totems. Now has the Ags on Earthshaker, able to pop the Granola. Unstoppable streak on Earthshaker. As I didn't see how the Necrophos died. Looks like Necro died over here. To, yeah, Juggernaut. As Earthshaker's trying to find more, going for the play on the Silencer, unable to find anything. As, yeah, I think Juggernaut just full Omni Slash the Necro, and Necro with that either stunned or didn't have Ghost Shroud. So Jug gets that kill, and Earthshaker just runs at the Spectre, pops her. And just very difficult for Spectre to do anything about that when the Earthshaker's on you. You have to rely on your team to really get them off you. They're going to transition this into a Roshan pickup. Don't expect Radiant to come over and try and stop this. Smoke comes out. Jug was forced to right-click to get the last hit, so he will not be smoked. Does pick up the Aegis. There are creeps pushing up bottom, so Dire's going to run down here and start pushing out this tower. As Ipa is revealing, showing the Bramble, Pugna's going to come in the back. Crash finds Ipa, forcing Ipa away. And Dire now just feeling pretty confident they're going to start working this tower. Radiant does have all spells up, including Epi, so gotta be a little bit careful about that. We have a Spectre ult mid. Emu found the Underlord, right-clicking him down. Pipe's not gonna save you when you're only 100 HP. And Reaper will secure that kill. Bottom. Looks like there may have been a go on the Sand King. Yeah, there was an Omni Slash on the Sand King, but it was not able to get him. Might have another fight here. Emu Invis breaks it on the backline. Global follow-up. Venge getting very low. Silence, not able to do anything. We'll just go down. Has the Ags though, so she stays alive for the fight. They're going to try and focus down this Necrophos. Where's the Earthshaker? They need the Echo Slam here. Emo getting so low, dies. Earthshaker on the side, W's in, gets rooted though, so that cancels the jump in, but it doesn't matter because two heroes are dead on the side of Radiant. Blocka blinks forwards, find the Silencer, pops him down. Wicked sick on Blocka now. So even with that Underlord dead, they don't care. They just go in. And Radiant pick off the Venge, but Venge had that Axe. So not exactly the hero you want to be focusing down because Venge just gets all her spells back. Really need to be trying to bring down this Earthshaker, I feel. He's the one doing the most damage in these fights. I guess Juggernaut was doing the most there. The Juggernaut has the Aegis, so it's very hard to go on that hero. All heroes on Radiant are respawning. So they will be able to mount a defense. Dire pushing in 2 lanes at once. But it looks like they will be retreating. They are in division, so Radiant could come out here and do something if they wanted to. But it seems like they're pretty cautious right now. Just hanging out in their base. And Dire want to go and get this last tier too. Global's up in 10 seconds. Underlord finds a Drabs as Juggernaut is going to walk high ground, spins to purge off the Dark Willow Cursed Crown. Pugna Ward is here, so it's a little bit harder to poke the jug than you normally would be able to. We have a ult in by Spectre on the Earthshaker. Actually, yeah, Emu found the Earthshaker, and with the help of Spectre was able to pick him down. So Wicked Streak dies. Weak Streak goes to Necrophos. We have Global now, trying to bring this Venge down. Dire are just trying to run away from this. And I feel like Radiant are happy to let them. They got the big kill though, worth Earthshaker dying. Very nice pick by Necrophos. And Spectre basically completely nullifying that Aegis push. Let's take a quick peek around at items. Spectre, Orchid Blade Mill working on Manta. Has Nullifier queued up afterwards. Dark Willow went Arcane Force Staff. Silencer went Arcane Force Staff, Ghost Scepter. Underlord Greaves Pipe, so defensive aura tank Underlord this game. Crash went Holy Locket and Glimmer Cape. Sand King went Aghanims. Ag's Blink Rush. I feel like Bloodstone is kind of a core pickup on Sand Kings these days for that extra AoE, plus the lifesteal. Gives you a lot of sustain in fights. Dire are now regrouped. They want to push in. And Juggernaut's going to be working on this mid tower. Just going to pop the Q, right-clicking it down. You may want to back up here. Jug's getting pretty low. Has Aegis for another 20 seconds. As Jayber's just going to run away. He pops the healing ward in the back line, so I'm going to use that to heal up a little bit. Fisher comes out, trying to isolate this Necrophos. Swapped on the Emu. Gets nullified, so can't Growth Shroud away. Jayber's going to right-click him down, so that's a dead Emu. And no buyback on Emu as the Aegis does pop. So it's a 5v4, and Radiant have basically all their spells except the swap. This is a very hard position by Dire here. You lost one set of racks, you don't have your Necrophos, which is a huge, it's your highest net worth hero in the game. They're going to start it anyway. Global, Epi, onto 2, Spectre follow up, trying to burst down this Juggernaut. They're going to get him. Juggernaut dead, no buyback available. Dark Willow now goes in onto Venge. Venge getting kept alive by Crash for a little bit, but dies. Echo Slam onto, was that anything? Maybe one hero? As Earthshaker tries to turn that around, but most of his team's dead at that point. Granola running away half HP. And between Crash, the Enchant Totem, they're gonna do a lot of damage to this Rax. They may just sack the Venge Illusion for it. Nah. Yeah, they'll fort it out. Dire not wanting to fight with the Necrophos respawning, although they're pinging out Spectre. Goes in, Fissure, double Enchant Totem. The Manta does not cancel the life drain, and Spectre's gonna die in the lane. No backup. Silencer is here though, has the dust. Emu's coming over. Pretty sure this is a dead Pugna here. No mana. Does not get a Reaper Scythed, but dies regardless. So they lose the Pugna Fort, but they lose Radiant lose their Spectre, which that was not very good. Just not respecting, I guess not anticipating the Earthshaker to just go in balls deep like that. Finishing out our tour of the items as Juggernaut was running at Drab's mid. We'll keep an eye on this. Earthshaker did go Yashikaya after his ag, so just trying to do as much damage as possible with the burst. Who else was there? Juggernaut, Nullifier, Mjolnir, Manta Style, working towards ag, so pretty standard build other than the Nullifier, which he got this game because of the Necrophos. And they might find the seal here as Juggernaut is going to get fissure blocked by his own Earthshaker, but Jug is unneeded there as Blocka will blink in double enchant totem, bring that seal down. So no global available for 40 seconds with that hero dead. As we should probably look at buyback status here with the base exposed like this. Smoke up by Dire. Block it in front, looking for a go. Gonna go in. Ooh, little bit of a miss play on the stun combo there. Dark Willow able to get the Shadow Realm off, able to escape there. As Dire looks like they're trying to find an emu, but we'll take the gate back bottom. Jerbear working on this last tier 3 tower. We'll spin a little bit early and run away. Underlord running away, very low HP. As the Guardian Greaves if he wants to purge this off. But I imagine Dire are going to stick around, just wait for that Battle of Blade Fury to come up and go back in. Both teams doing a bit of poking and prodding. But Dire's going to retreat for the time being. Radiant just chilling in their base. Can't really afford to do much leave base. Earthshaker can almost solo kill everybody on Radiant at this stage of the game. So if you don't have vision of them, it's just very difficult to show in lanes. And one issue with Radiant's draft is they don't have heroes that push out lanes from Fog that effectively. The closest would be maybe like Silencer with the Arcane Curse, but even that's not that great. So not even able to like have a hero go to a lane and shove it out safely. You basically have to show in lane. We have a smoke by Radiant wrapping around on Dire, who are showing in front of the main base. They're going to drop wards and see an Underlord. They'll drop roots on the Underlord. But these Radiant heroes are a little bit split up. Global comes out now. Earthshaker gets silenced. Epi by Drabs onto the Earthshaker. Then trying to bring Earthshaker down. He's just going to W away for the time being, though. Fissure can just enchant totems that Silencer. Shows him you're not allowed in this neighborhood as Jerbear drops the Omni onto Sand King. Dies. Granola gets obliterated by the enchant totem on Blocka. Will go down next. And the Dark Willow will fall to Jerbear as well, as Emu is the last remaining alive on his team, gets nullified up. Solo Echo Slam will bring them down. There are buybacks available on Radiant. I expect to see all of them here. As Dire are just going to work on these racks. They probably want to wait 20 seconds for the Sand King and Silencer to come up. Neither of those heroes have their ultimates though. So it's going to be pretty difficult for Radiant to mount a defense here. Dire gonna give them that time as they work on the racks. We'll get megas. GG's gonna be called. They're not gonna do the desperate defense. And the series will end up being a 1-1. As this goddamn team name, Jason Voss Foundation picks for the cure, gets the dub in game 2. Series ends up being 1-1. I'd say the progression of both games was pretty similar. Each side kind of, like one team had an early lead, but then ended up losing it as the game went on. And I still disagree with that Spectre pick. Like it just felt like really bad going into that draft. I feel like they needed like a little bit more damage or something a little bit with more oomph to follow up the Sand King, Epi, and Global Silence. I feel like Spectre doesn't really accomplish that, and I don't think Spectre does that well in lane against Underlord. They did kill Venge a lot, but never really killed the Underlord, so Underlord was able to come back and have a good game. And Earthshaker as well. Props to Earthshaker for having the like coming back after having such a hard lane versus the Necrophos, like 2 failed Echo Slams, and then using your Echo Slam to take stacks. Never feels good, but what's his face? Blocka never did not falter, just got back into the game and was absolutely critical to Jason Voss's dub. Anyway, this has been PDC Season 8, regular season matchup between our Plasma's Legend versus Jason Voss Foundation picks for the Cure. I've been Anthony. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you around next stream.